Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the latest updates and hidden meanings behind royal decisions and traditions. Today we turn our attention to a deeply symbolic move by King Charles III, one that not only reflects his vision for a modern monarchy, but also extends a hand of quiet support to his niece, Princess Beatrice. At St. James's Palace this Thursday, King Charles appointed Princess Beatrice as the new deputy patron of the Outward Bound Trust, a charity that encourages young people to unlock their potential through outdoor adventure and resilience building. Her appointment comes 6 years after her father, Prince Andrew, stepped down from the same organization amid the lingering shadow of his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a controversy that ultimately stripped him of his royal titles and public duties. Beatrice's new role marks a full-circle moment for the Outward Bound Trust. Once guided by Prince Philip and later supported by Andrew, the organization now enters a new chapter under the patronage of the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, and his newly appointed deputy, Princess Beatrice. Together, they symbolize the generational transition. The monarchy is currently undergoing from scandal and retreat to renewal and responsibility. Speaking after the announcement, Beatrice expressed heartfelt enthusiasm, saying simply, "I feel incredibly inspired and grateful." She elaborated on the charity's mission, adding, "They show us that anything is possible when you put your mind to it, and that's what Outward Bound does. It works." Those words carried a tone of quiet determination, perhaps reflecting her awareness of the challenges her family has faced and her own desire to carve out a positive, independent identity within the royal landscape. For King Charles, this appointment seems to be more than a matter of royal protocol. It's a gesture of faith and renewal. Amid the ongoing scandals surrounding Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the king has made it clear that Beatrice and her sister, Princess Eugenie, must find their footing outside the traditional royal framework. Both have full-time careers and families of their own, but this subtle acknowledgement from the king serves as both a reminder and an encouragement. They are valued members of the family, even if not part of the core working monarchy. In recent years, Charles has sought to streamline the firm, focusing its public-facing roles on a smaller number of senior royals. This decision, while practical, has come with emotional consequences. Reports from Robert Jobson's book, The Windsor Legacy, reveal the king's frustration that the palace once felt like a hotel for extended family members. Determined to end that perception, Charles has introduced a new model one, where grace and duty must balance with accountability and self-reliance. The king isn't running a housing association for distant relatives, one palace insider reportedly remarked, echoing Charles's resolve to modernize royal management. In that context, Beatrice's appointment stands as both a reward and a responsibility. It's a nod to her quiet dedication. She has served as a trustee for the Outward Bound Trust for 6 years, and a message that the next generation can uphold royal values through merit and service, not merely title. The king's gesture thus carries a dual meaning. It honors Beatrice's commitment, while gently repositioning the York sisters within the royal narrative, not as exiled relatives, but as modern women contributing in their own right. The Outward Bound Trust itself celebrated the news warmly, stating that the appointment signals the start of a new chapter in its mission to support a more adventurous generation. The charity's ethos of courage, challenge, and personal growth resonates deeply with the moment the monarchy finds itself in. Both Beatrice and Edward are now following in the footsteps of the late Prince Philip, whose lifelong advocacy for education and adventure continues to shape the charity's spirit. During the ceremonial event in London, the symbolism of the moment was unmistakable. Prince Edward and Princess Beatrice met with students from Walsall Academy who had participated in an Outward Bound expedition in the Lake District. The young people shared stories of overcoming fears and learning resilience themes that echo the royal family's own efforts to rebuild and evolve. One student, Sadie, presented Edward with a rowan tree sapling, a token of strength, courage, and resilience. Another student, Leo, gave Beatrice a Celtic brooch symbolizing unity, continuity, and good fortune. It was a tender scene, one that quietly reflected the essence of King Charles's reign so far, rooted in continuity, mindful of the past, but determined to grow anew. Through this appointment, the king not only reaffirms his commitment to charitable work and youth empowerment, but also extends a subtle, meaningful gesture toward his nieces, one of trust, redemption, and hope for a modern, sustainable monarchy. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, were spotted together for the first time after Prince Andrew's royal scandal. The royal sisters were spotted embracing each other in a hug on the streets of London, on the same day disgraced former Duke was ordered to appear before Congress. The royal was seen in a blue shirt, tucked into a tan skirt, and a pair of white trainers as she linked arms with other members of the charity. "Fantastic news on the education policy front," Holly said in the caption. On Thursday afternoon, Beatrice and Eugenie could be seen chatting intensely before sharing a close embrace as they said goodbye to one another and went their separate ways. Holly's post comes in the wake of Princess Beatrice's latest patronage. The royal, who remains ninth in line to the throne, is now a patron of the Outward Bound Trust, which helps children develop skills through adventure. The royal has been a trustee of the charity for the past 6 years, and her father, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was previously its patron until he resigned in 2019 following his Newsnight interview. Princess Beatrice lives in a farmhouse in the Cotswolds with her husband, Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, and their children. However, she splits her time between that and a state-funded flat in St. James's Palace in London. Her sister, Eugenie, splits her time between Portugal and the UK alongside her husband, Jack Brooksbank. When in the UK, the younger daughter of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor lives at Ivy Cottage, which is located within the grounds of Kensington Palace. Thank you for watching. What do you think of King Charles's decision to appoint Princess Beatrice to this role? Is it a step toward healing and renewal within the royal family? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more royal insights and stories. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, is set to lose his last remaining honor after King Charles stripped him of both his dukedom and prince title last month. Ministers in the UK are discussing a move to strip Charles' brother of his honorary rank of Vice Admiral, a title that was bestowed upon him on his 55th birthday in 2015. British Defence Secretary John Healey told that his department was working to remove Andrew's last remaining formal title. In general, the government's been guided by the decisions and judgments the king has made. In defense, it's exactly the same. And we've seen Andrew surrender the honorary positions he's had throughout the military, and guided again by the king, we are working now to remove that last remaining title of Vice Admiral that he has. The new development came just days after Buckingham Palace issued an extraordinary statement in which it was announced it was taking formal action to remove all of Andrew's royal titles, after a posthumous memoir published by Virginia Giuffre sparked more questions about Andrew's links to the late pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. His lease on Royal Lodge has, to date, provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been, and will remain with, the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. It was reported that the 5-year-old royal will vacate Royal Lodge, the 30-room mansion near Windsor Castle that he's lived in since 2003, as soon as practicable, and instead move to accommodation on the Porting and the Porting Litter, Royal Sandringham Estate in Norfolk. The king will fund Andrew's move and new living arrangement, reporting that the former duke could be set to receive a large one-off payment and an annual stipend from his brother. Andrew's ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, 66, will also leave Royal Lodge and make her own living arrangements elsewhere. 2 weeks prior to the bombshell announcement, Andrew had relinquished his Duke of York title. It understands that the king has been fully supported in his action against Andrew by the Prince of Wales and the wider royal family.